Bangkok, we went to Singapore, then Malaysia,
But go to YouTube.
And at every stop, we've been met by incredible builders who brought so much energy and so much creativity and really just blew us away with reflecting back this vision of building an economy that works better for everyone. And this energy has been building in the region, and we have incredible people who have been coming to base. You look around the room, you have Cat Town, you have PDAX, you have Coins, like so many builders who have been bringing the world on chain for the last 7-8 years. And they're starting to make real use cases happen as well, stablecoins, remittances. In the Philippines in particular, there's a huge opportunity for making it cheaper and faster for folks to send money to and from their family, which can be a massive boon for the economy. And those use cases are starting to come to life in a real way, here and in other places in Southeast Asia. And then around this, and it's kind of apt that we're in the club, I realized, we were told, this is like the central club of Manila. We've had just incredible community as well. In the last 9 months, we've had 24 different community meetups around the region. People coming together to build the future. And then most recently, we did the Based Southeast Asia Build-a-thon. Yeah, come on, give it up to the builders. Raise your hand if you participate in the Build-a-thon in some way. There we go, there we go, there we go. See some people in the back? We had, I think, like 400, 500 builders from across the region get involved, get building. Incredible winners. And we actually have one really impactful winner from the Philippines, Local Coins. Let's go. Who's building, that's Local Coins? Come on up, no, not yet, we'll bring you up in a second. But incredible that we have the builder of Local Coins in the room, building a peer-to-peer on and off ramp to the on-chain economy, which is going to make it cheaper and easier for people to get access to all of this incredible stuff that's happening. And so there's been so much progress, so many builders, winners, meetups, and through all of that, I think the consistent theme for us of what has really made it feel special is the people. It's the people in this room, the people who, I was talking to another builder and I asked, how has on-chain impacted you? And they said, well, if I hadn't been on-chain, I wouldn't have been with any of these people. They're friends who we're now building with, creating with. And the people are so important because as we are building this new thing, this on-chain economy, I think we realize that the more people we bring, the better off our small businesses are going to be. And that's because we're going to be a part of a new on-chain economy. And I want to talk for a second about what that means and why that's going to be the case. Because I think there's a lot of uncertainty and fear at times about this crypto stuff and speculation. I think it's really important to understand why we're doing what we're doing and how this is going to be different than the last time you were promised maybe a better future. And that's because the current systems that we are in today, they aren't working. And it's because they're centralized, they're controlled by a small number of countries, a small number of companies, and they're kind of giving us a bad deal. Like, raise your hand if you are a gamer who in the old system played, tens or hundreds of hours of games and didn't make any money from it. That's a lot of hands. Raise your hand if you're a developer and you've been frustrated by an app review process or because Apple or someone else takes more than 30% of your revenue. Raise your hand if you're a creator who puts your creativity into these platforms and then the platforms make money and you don't make nearly enough. Like, this is the system. They're not working. And when we say on-chain, we need a new system, an upgrade to the system that all of us can build together, where it's built by the people for the people, and it's building a new economy that actually just works better because it's faster, it's cheaper, it's easier to use, and it's fully global, which means that all of us can be connected. And so when you're a gamer, now when you play games, you earn money because you're giving your time and creativity to that platform. And when you're a developer, you can build in the open, you make 100% of your revenue. And when you're a creator, you can start to bring your creativity on-chain and earn more while keeping a control of your network so that no one can deplatform you, no one can take away your voice. This is the new internet. It's a new economy. And it's being built with all of us together on Base. And so now I want to talk about why Base. What are we doing? How are we contributing? And I think at this point, it's becoming clear that what we're building is something really significant that has the potential to radically transform and improve the way we live over the next year, 5 years, 10 years, 100 years. And it's because we're building a new global on-chain economy that's going to increase innovation, creativity, and freedom. And it's going to be this new platform that all of us get to bring the world into. Millions of builders, billions of developers, trillions of dollars of assets, and show them that it can work better. It doesn't need to be a world that's controlled by few. It can be a world that's built by the people, where we all benefit from the things we build. And we're doing it in a bunch of ways. We're making it fast, we're making it cheap, we're building a vibrant ecosystem, we're making it fully open and permissionless so that anyone can build and anyone can benefit. And it's now been about 14 months since we launched. And it's working pretty good. Base is now the largest L2 in the world. It's the fastest growing developer ecosystem. There's thousands and thousands of developers. There's billions of dollars of assets in the productive Base economy. Creators have earned millions of dollars. Builders, developers have earned tens of millions of dollars. All of this is incredible progress in literally a little bit more than a year. And it's not just the numbers. There's also the culture. Base around the world, Basecamp, Base names. All of us showing up in On-Chain Summer. Raise your hand if you did something On-Chain Summer. Okay. Next year we'll get all of you. On-Chain Summer 2025. The energy is incredible. And the craziest thing about all of it is that it's just the beginning. It's literally still day one. And a lot of us have been building now for a decade. Like I started way back here in 2012. And I thought it was going to happen sooner, but it's been a decade of hard work. But the technology and the platform and the culture and the community is finally ready. It's all here. And in the next months and in low number of years, it's going to grow. And it's going to be this crescendo where people start to realize that this new on-chain economy works better, and they're going to tell their friends, and their friends are going to tell their friends, and they're going to start being on-chain. And they're going to start creating and building and developing and learning in new ways. And it's going to be pretty incredible. But the only way, and the fastest way we can get there, is if we all do it together. Because this is not a piece of work that one company or one person or one country can do. It is work that we will do best in collaboration with each other. As a community, as a global community that's working together across borders to build something incredible. And so I want to talk a little bit about what we're going to do, the Base core team, and how we're thinking about our priorities for 2025. And my hope is that this gives you a little bit of insight into how we're going to be approaching the year, which can then help you build better and help you focus on accelerating the work that we're doing and leveraging the work that we're doing in new ways. And so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to make the Base economy work for everyone. And what that means, it means first making it incredibly easy to on and off ramp so you can enter the economy with low fees, really fast, super easy. Shout out to LocalCoins again, who's building that peer-to-peer on-ramp. We need more innovation like that. And then the second thing we're going to do is we're going to work with people around the world, including in the Philippines, to issue local stablecoins like Philippines peso on-chain, so that y'all can build the Philippines economy on-chain, and you can make it work better for Filipinos by Filipinos, because every country deserves to benefit from this incredible technology platform. And that's going to happen across every country in the world, not just the Philippines peso, but the Singapore dollar, the Nigerian naira, the Kenyan shilling. Every country is going to get to benefit from this new platform and the connectedness of this new platform, and everyone's going to get to join the new economy. And one note on that is if you are building a stablecoin, or you're thinking about cross, stablecoin, FX, we want to talk to you. We believe that this sort of onboarding and this giving people local stablecoins is going to be at the center of the next wave of adoption. So, reach out. The second thing we're going to be doing is we're going to make Base an incredible place to be a developer. With things like base names, so you can get all of the identity information and social graph out of the box for users. With the smart wallet, which takes away all the complexity and makes it just work with on-ramps and cross-chain execution. With Paymaster, so you can build totally gasless experiences where you don't have to have a paywall in front of every user transaction. And of course, on-chain kit, which can literally let you go from nothing to a fully built on-chain app in less than an hour with AI tools. It's crazy. If you've never used it before, you've got to check it out. Combines them all. The third thing is that this wallet that we're building, it's not just for developers, it's also going to be for users. And it's going to make it simple and safe for you to come on chain. Because right now, this whole thing of onboarding people to crypto and then having to give them the talk, where don't mess up, don't lose your seed phrase, don't click the wrong button, otherwise you're going to lose all of your money. That's not a sustainable equilibrium. We need to build better tools, and that's what we're going to do with Smart Wallet. And with all these tools, the developer tools, the Smart Wallet, the new on-ramps, there's going to be a lot of demand. And so we're also going to be scaling this. We scaled it from about 2 to about 20 this year in terms of the measurement we use, which is called MGAS. And next year we're going to go from 20 to 200, so another 10x, which is going to make sure that we can keep up with all the capacity, all the people who want to come on chain and benefit from this new economy. And then the last one, and this is a new one, is that we are going to work day and night to make Base work for creators. Because creating on-chain means owning your creativity. It means keeping sovereignty and control over your network and your fans and your followers. And it means making more money. Because there isn't a middleman that's taking 90% of the value from your creativity that you bring to make the internet what it is. And so that's what we're doing. But like I said, we cannot do it alone. And so as all of y'all are building, we've thought about 3 guideposts, 3 things that you can think about as you build that hopefully will make it so your work goes further and you can make more of an impact. And so the first one is that we got to make something people want. If you're a developer or you're a creator, we got to solve a user need, give people what they want. Because I think in the last many years, crypto at times has been distracted by speculation and prices, all of this noise which is taking us away from solving real problems. So the first thing is find a problem, solve it, and make something that your friends, your family, a random person on the street want to use. The second thing is we got to make it dead simple. Because, oh, this is good for crypto is not good enough. It needs to just be great. And it needs to be better than the existing Web 2 platforms that have spent literally tens of billions of dollars optimizing the experiences through them. So let's build better, more usable experiences. And then the third thing is that we gotta bring new people on chain. Take your app, or your content, or whatever it is you're doing on chain. I know all of you have different creativity you're bringing. And show it to a friend or a family member and give them one sentence of this is what it is. And then you just gotta sit back and watch, see what happens. And through that, you're gonna A, bring someone on chain, and then B, you're gonna learn how you can bring more people on chain, how you can make your product better, how you can improve your creativity, or whatever it is that's gonna help us all onboard the world faster. Because if each of us onboards one person, and then they onboard one person, and then they onboard one person, we're gonna get to 1 billion people, I think a lot faster than we can imagine. And so as you're doing those things, there is one more thing, and that is we gotta keep building, but we also gotta stay based. And this means a very specific thing. It's a culture. that all of us are building together that's going to define the base economy. And as we build this economy, we have to decide what do we want it to be like. And we need to hold each other accountable to that and make sure that we're all showing up with the same philosophy to try and change the world and make it better. And so staying based means 5 things. It means doing the right thing, even when it's tough, because sometimes it's going to be tough. It means working hard, because it's not going to be easy to change the world. It means being optimistic, because the future is bright. And it's a lot brighter because all of us are building it together. It means pushing boundaries with creativity, because it required to get to those crazy solutions that maybe no one else thinks of. And then finally, and this is the most important one, is that it means putting the team over the individual. Because this is way bigger than one person, one country. It's about all of us. It's about all of us building a better world together. And I want to close before I hand it off with something that connects to that, which is I got to be at the YGG Play Summit today. It was awesome, so much energy, and the Philippines has been leading the way in on-chain gaming. Like literally, this is the market leader. You guys are doing incredible work. And I got to be there with Gabby Dazan, who created YGG, and getting to be there on the last stop. And there's someone on my team who's Filipino, who I worked with for now 6 years, and I had not met until last night for the first time. And we got to hang out last night, and then she was there today. And the tool that we were launching, that Gavin was launching, is this on-chain guild, which lets people come together better. And thinking about just the incredible beauty and profoundness of 3 people coming from different parts of the world to the Philippines to launch new technology that can bring more people together to build, and getting to be welcomed into this beautiful city and to meet incredible people at the end of an incredible trip is just awesome. And that's what it's about. When we say putting the team over the individual, it means that. It means showing up for each other. And it means coming together, even if it means flying around the world together. And so we're going to have an incredible night. We have a lot more content. But I do want to just make sure that as we go through the night, and we'll put this up again for the panel, there's a bunch of people from the base core team here. Raise your hand if you're from the base core team, and make a noise. Woo! These people have been flying around the world, literally, for 21 days. There's 15 of us, and we're all super excited to be here, and super excited that this is our last stop. So we're going to have an awesome panel next, and then I hope you get to listen and learn and meet some people on the base team and meet other incredible builders. So thank you so much for being here, and let's welcome back up top. Woo!
Applause for Jesse. Yes, awesome. Great. All right, so we're going to do a little stage reset here. We can bring these up, and we'll do a little audience participation in the meantime. So we're going to do some call and response. So when I say something, you say something else, all right? Let's give this a little bit of a try. So when I say stay, you say based. Stay. Based. Stay. Based. When I say fun, you say first. Fun. First. Fun. First. When I say on-chain, you say kid. On-chain. On-chain. All right, nice. That was good. That might have been the loudest that I've heard, but it also might be because of all the mics that are coming up on stage that may have been amplifying it, but that's great. So next up, we've got some more interesting situation for you. Sam, my colleague who leads ecosystem for Base, is going to come up. Everybody else on our builder panel also come join, take your place on stage, and we're going to get into a very lively Base builder conversation. Big round of applause. Thank you. Yeah, everybody come on up.
Yep.
Yeah? Okay, great. Hello, everybody. Wow, I sound like Jesse. I have spent way too much time with him. Hello, Manila. I'm super excited to be hosting our Builder panel. For those of you who I haven't met yet, I'm Sam. I lead the ecosystem team at Base. I'm joined here by 3 incredible Base builders. Just to start it off, maybe we go down line and do some quick intros. Michelle, you want to start us off?
Hi everyone, my name is Michelle Gaba. I'm the founder and CEO of PDAX. We're one of the licensed crypto exchanges in the Philippines with our platform and also our partner Gcash. And we also are BondsPH, which is the tokenization securities broker dealer.
So hello everyone, I'm Jen. I'm the country manager of Coins.ph. We're one of the regulated exchanges here in the Philippines. We were the first to launch Philippine stablecoin, and we'll have some announcements later with the Base team. And we're very, very excited to be supporting Base, and I think one of the partners that we will be also announcing in the coming days will be something related to YGG. But yeah, happy to be here, and we support the vision of Base, and we're very excited actually. A lot of use cases that Jesse mentioned are something that we have been building on our side, and it really will empower a lot of our users in the Philippines, not just in the Philippines but also abroad.
Hello everyone, good evening. So I'm Jenna Ilao from YGG, the Guild of Guilds. I'm actually the product lead of Freeman. So we're spreading free education around the Philippines, also
Amazing. Cool, just to get us started, we obviously talk a lot of time about how we're seeing so many exciting use cases happen on Base. I would just be curious, for the 3 of you, which are ones that you're seeing in Philippines right now that you're excited about? I guess maybe we go in the same order.
For me, I guess the earliest and probably most boring problem that crypto was supposed to solve is still a very relevant problem, particularly in the Philippines, and that's payments and remittances. Certainly, before, I guess, expanding financial inclusion meant adding a lot of intermediaries. You gotta trust someone to take charge of your money. You gotta trust someone to send money anywhere. But I think we've reached the point where trust isn't probably gonna take us to the next stage of growth, right? Like we gotta go trust less, and in particular for payments and remittances, there's just so many ways now to make payments and remittances much cheaper, happen much faster by putting everything on chain. So that's something that we at PDAX are super excited about.
On our side, there's actually, I've been talking to several, and we have different operations in different countries. And one of the things that's quite peculiar about the Philippines, how is it different from other countries? For example, in Vietnam, most of the on-chain use cases revolve around macro nuances, right? So for example, in Thailand, we have an operations in Thailand, and most of the users there, most of the key players there, institutional players, banks, the King's Bank, CM Bank has their own crypto, but not a lot of, I'd say, gamers, etc. Singapore, it's a big financial ecosystem, financial center, so most of the use cases revolve around TradFi, like tokenization of securities, etc. Here in the Philippines, share a panel with Jenna, we have the most number of gamers, we have the most number of mobile users, and obviously Philippines is the third or fourth, it's tied in terms of remittance. So most of the use cases on chain are built on top of what are the pain points and what are the behaviors of our user base. And obviously here in the Philippines, it's 2 things. We have a lot of gamers, and then we have a lot of remittance. Probably it's about 10% of our GDP. Now, what we see is that those 2 things, there's a lot of pain points that I think on-chain, like blockchain technology, just naturally solves. So one of which, I think Jenna will touch upon that, which is the gaming community. Second is remittance, which a lot, and what we do, basically, we're an infrastructure player, right? So we launched our own stablecoin. We're going to get out of the sandbox real soon. It's the first to be available to retail. And we're quite excited to see how it is going to be built on-chain in the entire ecosystem. Because some of the nuances actually is, we've been using, a lot of our remittance partners are using stable coins for flows, but it's still disjointed, right? So they convert USDC, USDT, they off-ramp it to our order book, and then they have to off-ramp to peso. But the last mile is quite difficult and it's not as instant. So this is fast, this has been solved, but first phase or the third phase of the process is still not addressed. So from our perspective, we want to see that end-to-end process taking place on chain because it's just so efficient, right? Settlement and information transfer is happening instantly. And I think for us, supporting the gaming use case, we've been listing and we've been supporting a lot of games. We have around 120 tokens listed. And then on the remittance side, we have the most number of stable coins listed. So just supporting that ecosystem from an infrastructure standpoint and providing that liquidity to users to off-ramp and on-ramp and convert that in a seamless way automatically is something that we are doing. Just enabling all the builders to build on top of what we've done.
Maybe for YGG, it's really creating a more seamless game experience, as well as expanding the blockchain gaming ecosystem in the Philippines. One case that I actually saw today was we had a game jam. So these students and professionals actually made their own games. But one thing with the students is that they only know surface level of how to actually integrate on-chain. So that's one thing that Metaversity wants to solve. So it's bridging the skills gap. So how do we actually get these students for the next generation actually apply on-chain on their game so that it's a continuous ecosystem in the Philippines and hopefully globally. So that's for us.
Amazing. Just to go a step deeper on that, Jenna, I'd be curious, what are like the remaining blockers you see stopping from some of these on-chain games from really hitting mainstream? Obviously Axie and some other ones recently have been able to kind of get to a larger scale, but what do you think is blocking more and more games from being able to do that?
Well, I feel like one thing is that they actually have to spend. So number one is in Web3, a lot of people think that they still have to take something out of their wallet. So especially students, they're actually not aware that they don't really have to spend anything. So that's one thing. We've actually been talking to like organizations as well as universities to incorporate Web3. But as soon as they hear Web3, they associate it with crypto. So that's one blocker, especially for the next generation of builders as well as people who actually play Web3 games. They're actually scared. There's a fear behind it. And like what Jen said, that's one pain point there. So how do we address that? It's really by educating them more about like what games to play, what are not scams, and those simple things that are actually important, because if you don't know the simple things, you're never gonna cross that basically that bridge, right? So it's really bridging education to the people who don't really know about Web3.
Yeah, makes sense. Jen and Michelle, I'd be curious, Jen, you were touching on a bit in your answer, but how do you think Philippines is different from some of the other markets in Southeast Asia? What are some of the unique challenges and some of like the unique opportunities?
I think obviously remittance is a big use case here in the Philippines. So there's a World Bank study wherein on average sending money back home costs about 6%. I saw Jesse's video in India, 8%, but on average 6%. Some areas, depending on the location and depending on the currency that you have, it's higher. 6% takes about 2 to 3 days. I think this is something that we all understand, right? Because we have someone in our family who works abroad, someone in our family who lives abroad, or maybe you work abroad. And this is something close to our hearts. And it's such a pain because you have to accept the FX rate when you transfer it. If you transfer it, you have to, number one, if you want to do it fast, you have to accept a lower FX rate. So there's really no power to the consumer to decide. And there's really no way for you to seamlessly on-ramp and off-ramp in a fast and cheap manner. And that's the first pain point. The limitation of on-ramps and off-ramps in order for you to pick the best cheapest price and the fastest settlement. The second, I think, regulation, actually. We've been around since 2014. We've been trying to push this because this is really, when our founder read the Bitcoin white paper, this is it, right? The Philippines is the right place and the right recipe to make this happen, because we're global, we have a lot of OFW workers. But it's just that there were remittance companies who weren't even willing to talk to us, right? Why would Bitcoin? so there's really a lot of pushback. But right now, there's regulatory clarity on what type of stablecoins are regulated, and if you're a compliant player, if you're a PSP provider in, for example, the US, Europe, Singapore, if this is something you're interacting with a counterparty who has a license in the Philippines, who has a stablecoin that is regulated by the central bank, you're not risking your main business line, which is transferring money, right? Because that's the nexus, or that's the analysis that most of these players do. So second is regulatory clarity. And I think thirdly is liquidity is now there, right? Because there's more acceptance, it's a flywheel, it's a cold start problem. So once there's more regulatory clarity, people will now enter into this space, and then it's a two-sided marketplace, and therefore, with deep liquidity, you don't suffer the spreads. That's always the problem when we talk to some of our oil companies who uses us. It's faster, but the FX rate is not as good as what the banks offers us. But now we've reached a point where liquidity is sufficient enough to accept bigger amounts, and that addresses not just the institutional use cases, but also retail use cases who need fast, frequent exchanges. So liquidity is there. So those three factors, I think, help us in terms of the remittance use cases.
For me, I think there are a lot of unique things about the Philippines that makes this the ideal market to really try and build something. Speaking as someone who built an exchange in PDAX and some use case applications here in the Philippines. This is probably one of the markets where you have a ton of problems arising from legacy structures that can easily be solved with on-chain solutions. Right, so we talked about remittances, we talked about payments, we also should be talking about how securities and the capital markets are inaccessible. There's a lot of latent demand for on-chain games. And the Philippines is also probably one of the most social media savvy countries in the world. So if there were a social media on-chain application with a pretty unique use case, I'm pretty sure it's gonna catch fire here as well. So this is a fantastic place to build. But at the same time, there are also unique challenges here in the Philippines. For one, we're a pretty big country, right? There's 120 million people, but on a per capita basis, we're a poor country, which means that if you're a builder and you're looking to sustain a startup, a growing startup, you can't rely on a lot of short-term revenues to do that, which means you're going to need a lot of funding. Now, I think what's very fortunate about the world today is that as long as, as Jesse said earlier, if you start with the problem that you want to solve, if there is a problem that you can't solve, I think the ecosystem is going to rally behind you to make resources available. So I guess if you're thinking of building in the Philippines, just start, right? Find a problem and then just start. Funding's going to be there. The community support is going to be there.
Love it. Just ship it. Perfect. Final question for the three of you. Obviously, successful builders in the Philippines, also just as on-chain builders. What is one tip that you would have for new builders in this space?
I guess I ended with that earlier, which is just start. There's so many challenges in building a startup, and even more so, I think, in building an on-chain solution. And not being able to see all the challenges up front can be very daunting. But I think the best advice is just begin.
For me, I think immerse yourself in the community, right? That your community that you're building solutions for. As a builder, you have a lot of preconceived notions of how your product would solve the pain points of the community, but sometimes you're so focused on building your product, and a lot of assumptions get blurred between the lines that once you ship it, it's not the right fix, right? It's not the right product fit. So immerse yourself in your community, talk to your users. And that's something that, for me in particular, I practice that a lot. I have our own inbox, sometimes 1,000 inbox a day. I just read customer complaints, and that's how I learn. That's actually I enjoy when someone approaches me, or good feedback, bad feedback. Feedback is still nonetheless. Make yourself approachable to your community, and that's actually your hidden and the only thing that's not as costly as a devs, or doesn't cost you anything else, but just hearing them out.
For me, probably stay curious, but also take risks. Like what they said, if you stay curious, you actually continue learning, because you're not always the smartest one in the room in Web3. Honestly, there's always something you don't know. And by taking calculated risks, or taking risks actually, it's just trying to start and not being afraid to make a mistake, because you're always going to make a mistake. So it's just, how do you get up and how do you start again, right? So that's me.
Oh, I have one last tip. Build on base.
That was cute.
Just shipped it and build on base. Love it. Perfect. Awesome. Well, Michelle, Jen, and Jen, thank you so much for coming. This was great. Really appreciate it.
Go Sam!
Builders, come on down. All right. That was awesome. That was a lot of fun. Thanks, guys. I love that. Stay curious. Check your assumptions. Immerse yourself, and then, just build it. Cool, thank you. All right, Sam's gonna stay with us. So we're gonna get into our AMA session pretty shortly here. I do want to say, para sa lahat ang base. All right, base is for everyone. And, base is for some more people too. So let's invite Natalie down, head of research for base. All right. We're gonna invite Aniri down, head of creator for base. And we're gonna invite Jesse down, head of base, creator of base contributor 001. All right, so we'll get some folks down. Yes, come on down, Aniri, come on down, Jesse, grab your seat. Did you? For who? Yeah, no, totally. Okay, so, as we said, para sa lahat ang base is for everyone, and we're gonna do one more call and response. And some of you guys may... That's fine, okay. Hot mic. All right. Yes, so I want you guys to join me in one more call and response for Jesse. When I say happy, that's right, you say birthday. Happy. Happy. All right, let's all sing the happy birthday song for Jesse. We'll embarrass him. 3, 2, 1. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jesse.Base Study. Happy birthday to you. Woo! Thanks, everybody. And we have a very special signature. And I think there could be more signatures on this. So if y'all want to sign with your pens or your private keys, you can come up and find Jesse afterwards and then sign that. Leave your base name. All right, happy birthday, Jesse. This is great. And he's actually going to get 2 birthdays, but that's complicated. We'll talk about it later. All right, so now this is great. A lot of good energy out there. Now this is your opportunity. We have somebody going around the audience with the microphone. So we're going to take some hands, but we're going to do a quick lightning round to go down. We're going to ask, we got Sam on ecosystem, Natalie on research, Jesse on everything, Aniri on creators and social. So we're going to ask a nice question to get this started, and then we'll go around and you can raise your hand and we'll have a microphone come by. All right, so Sam, what are some of the things that you've been excited about from a partnership and business development and ecosystem standpoint here in Southeast Asia, in India, in Africa that you're seeing as a theme across this Based Around the World tour that we're on?
Good. Yeah, okay, cool. I mean, first of all, the biggest takeaway has just been how much our culture is cared. For those of you who've been on like our Friday builder calls, we start them all the same way. Anyone who's ever worked at Coinbase or Base, you've heard us start our calls the same way. It has been incredible to go across all of these markets and hear people so aligned with the mission. So that's been like by far the most exciting thing that I've seen. In terms of like what we're seeing from a partnership side, that's from a partnership perspective, that's exciting. I think each country has had something unique. Not to go through them all, but just in Southeast Asia, we're obviously seeing, I'd say the two ones we're hearing a lot of are, and obviously we chose on the panel, but gaming is one that's really resonated here. Obviously, some of it due to Axie, but obviously a lot of gaming studios were here well before that as well. And so I think gaming is one that we've been really excited about and excited to chat more about. And then the second one has just been sort of these cross-border payments. A lot of remittance activity, a lot of people thinking and seeing the clear benefits for it. Jesse obviously has historically been a big remittance guy, and so we've all experienced something like this, but it's been incredible to see just how many folks here resonate with that so deeply. So those are probably the two verticals here specifically that we've been seeing a lot and are really excited about.
Nice, thank you, Sam. All right, Natalie, you've been hosting research panels for builders on Base, builders on chain, and builders not yet on chain. From today's one, what's one surprising thing or interesting thing that stood out from the Base Philippines builder panel you hosted this morning?
Absolutely amazing to travel around the world and learn from builders in 5 different countries. And today I got to sit down and learn from builders here in the Philippines. And something that really stood out was how much Filipino builders really want to build for the Philippines. That was not what we heard in every single country. And some of the use cases that came out were similar to what just came out in the panel, of course, remittance, things like IDs on chain. I hear IDs are a really hard thing to deal with here. Things like bringing donations, making them more transparent. So there's just so many exciting long-term visions for here in the Philippines.
Some good ones. ID, donations, interesting. All right, Jesse, you've got a lot of questions. This one's not going to be mental or intellectual, it's going to be emotional. How did you feel on stage earlier with Gabby talking about YGG, on-chain guilds, kind of that moment earlier today at the summit?
I think I just felt super grateful. Super grateful to be here, super grateful to be building, super grateful for Base, super grateful for all the Base builders, and to be having flown all the way around the world and literally be like at the final leg and to just be with Base builders in one more city. It's a special feeling, and it's a special feeling to be sitting up on stage with the 5 of you, 4 of you, and the other 10 people who are here who've got to travel around the world with.
And finally, Anita, what is Base doing in 2025 and beyond to support creators?
So yeah, question, what are we doing to support creators? Jesse talked a lot about why creators are so important to us and why we believe that there's a better version of the internet where creators own their content, own their relationship with their audience. I'll talk a little bit about how we're thinking about supporting creators. So the first thing we're going to do is make it really easy for you to create on chain. So giving you the tools where you can take a picture and mint it, put in a few fields and create a token, record a video and have that launch a video coin. So really, really easy tools at your fingertips to make it easy to create on chain. The second thing we want to do is to create pipelines for virality. We talked about this a lot, Jesse, today at YGG, that our goal is to make builders go viral. Our goal is to make creators go viral. And we're investing in the tools and the UI that will help creators go viral and create those pipelines for people to get distribution. The third thing is to make it really easy to earn. So now you have users who use distribution. How do we build the primitives so that someone can earn? Direct receiving tips, receiving mints,
what are those types of primitives that make it really easy for you to get directly paid by your users rather than foregoing 90 to 95% of that to platforms. And then finally is how do you actually nurture that audience? So you have an audience, you're earning from them. How do you bring them across platforms? How do you nurture them? Have like closed circles with messaging, and really kind of build and nurture that community. So yeah, there's a lot of what we're planning to do to support creators, but if you're a creator, we want you creating on chain, but we also want you to meet users where they are. And a lot of them today are on Web2 social media, and so post on TikTok, post on Instagram, and get the word out about what on-chain is, what Base is, and why you're so excited about it, and then bring those users and that audience to all the amazing tools that all of us are building.
Awesome. Nice. Creators on chain. You heard it here first. All right, so hands raised. Who's got a question for any of us up here? Don't be shy. We've got a lot of base builders in the audience. Does anyone have a question? This is an Ask Me Anything for the base team. It's all right. In Singapore, it took a little bit for people to... Do we have a question? We have a question down here, a very base builder.
I'd like to ask you all what you each have learned on this trip.
All right, and we're gonna get one sentence each, like Jesse's challenge earlier. We're gonna go down the line. I'll say my first thing that I learned. There's a lot of differences, but there are a lot of similarities between the different areas. And I think there's a number of builder needs and user needs that are the same everywhere. And as you know, Base for everyone, so that would be my one sentence that's long. All right, Sam, go.
That was really good. I think, for me, we've cared a lot about being global. Basically since we launched, we wanted to be global, Bases for everyone. I think the thing that's really set in, and Jesse tweeted this yesterday, and he worded it better than I'm about to, but unless you're on the ground, you're not in the game. That has really stuck in my mind. If we're not here, if we're not helping our community get together here, we're not doing anything meaningful. And so I think going forward, that's something that we're very, very, very committed to. I stole Jesse's.
Okay, it's hard to choose just one thing, but I think if I have one learning from all the research we've done, it's that there's a really big opportunity to think about how to support builders after that first hackathon, after that first idea. How do we bring more mentorship? How do we help with tooling? How do we help refine their craft?
I would just say that I've experienced and learned about the universality and frustration around the legacy systems. Like you go to different countries and people speak different languages, and everyone's frustrated with the legacy systems.
My one sentence is do things that don't scale sometimes. So invest in community events and invest in one-on-one meetings. And that is the only way that we'll get to the place where we can then do things that do scale.
Oh, that's a good one. All right, any other questions from the audience? Any other questions? All right, a question down here. Mike this man.
I just want to ask the question that everybody wants to ask. When TGE? When is Base Token coming?
No plans for a Base Token. We're focused on building, and we're focused on solving real problems and helping people build better, play better, learn.
All right, any other questions from the audience? All right, we have a question right over here in white.
He asked one.
Good day, Base team. I would like to ask, when do you plan to launch a card for international payments?
Card for international payments? It's something we're looking at. A lot of work can be done to basically make it easier to move money on and off chain. We don't have a specific timeline for a card. But one thing that is rolling out around the world right now, which we're going to be talking about later this week more publicly, but I'll let everyone share in on the secret, is we're launching USDC rewards. which are basically, you can hold USDC in Coinbase Wallet, which is a USD stablecoin, and you earn about 5% in rewards. So that's a really great way to save globally and earn more money.
Good question. Any other questions? Anything? Go to market support. Double dipping. Yes, another question.
I want to ask about Legend Chain. Is it really about to adopt Solana Chain or is it staying on Base? Some rumors are like the Legend Chain is going to move type of thing, but Base wouldn't let, like, is that really like, are they going to change chain? They are L3, right, with Legend Chain, and there's some rumors on Twitter that Solana wants to adopt Legend Chain. It's going to happen, or Base wouldn't let that happen.
I'm not sure I fully understand the question, but there's a lot of different folks building the on-chain economy in different ways. Base, Solana, and I think the really cool thing about this is that there's a lot of opportunity to learn from what's working and what's not working. And the biggest thing that we want to focus on is bringing new people on-chain. And kind of, if we're going to compete with anyone, it's kind of like, let's go compete with the off-chain folks. And so that's what we're excited to do.
100%. All right, I think we have time for just a couple more, so any more questions for the Base team up here? And of course, we'll all circulate later if you want to ask one-on-one, but now's your opportunity. The whole world's watching. What do you want to learn? Any in the back? Do I see a hand in the back? All right, well, it's been a stimulating Q&A session.
There's no Base token, but there's tokens on Base. Woo!
This has been great. Thank you all for your questions, and definitely come find us afterwards. Maybe one more time, let's just raise our hands if you're on the Base team. It's up here, but look around the room. Maybe you're standing next to somebody. Come find us afterwards. We want to talk. We want to learn about what you're building and how we can support you better. And I'll pass it off. We'll jump off stage here, and then I'll pass it off to Jesse to just close out a little bit our evening tonight. So thank you all. Thank you to our panelists. Let's have a round of applause for our Base team. Thanks, guys.
That is the end of our programming. This is the 8th night over the last 21 nights that we have gotten to do a program like this, where we've done some kind of show. It's not a show, it's like we give talks, we do panels, and it's been such an incredible experience. And wow, it's been such an incredible experience, and there's been so much learning and sharing and something is really it's been such an incredible experience, and you guys are getting to see the last one. And so first off, thank you all for being here. Let's give us a round of applause. Thank you, Manila. Shout out Manila. And then second off, I want to do something which is a little bit like maybe out of character, out of place, but I think is deserving because it really has felt like we've been around the world and we've had this team of incredible people who will show up in a new place and then bring people together like this. And there's a bunch of people who were on this trip or who are involved in other many ways of making these events happen. And if you're one of those people, I want you to come up on stage really quickly. Come on. Sarah, Ross, Tom, Nat, Natalie, Jamie. Come on, Cindy. Everybody, you gotta come up on stage. Yeah, Natalie, come on. Tom, Sam, we need you. Everybody, Neri. If you were a part of making this event, Nat, we need you. Need you. Thank you. Who else are we missing? Come on, I know we're missing a few people. Juan, come on. Sebastian, if you guys are videoing. Yeah, come on up, come on up, come on up. Balin, Balin's in the front, he's gotta keep filming. Okay, well, Jamie and Cindy and everyone else, we see you. You don't want to come up on stage, but we love you anyways. I just want to, can you all please just join me in giving these people who put on these events for the last 21 days, who brought people together from all around the world, in all different settings, through all kinds of chaos and failures and learnings and getting better. Can you please just join me in giving them all a massive, massive round of applause? It takes a team. I think that people see me out on the Twitter or whatever and they're like, how does Justin do it? This is how I do it. An incredible team of incredible people, incredible base builders. Some might call them the first base builders, who are welcoming all the other base builders, like all of you, to build with us. Because our time is now. It's still day one, but together with all of us, we can build a global on-chain economy that makes the world such a better place. So thank you all for being here. Thank you, team, for being here, and have an awesome night. And thank you, Manila.